Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meijer. Hi again, friends, and welcome to another edition of Inside Michigan Football. Doug Karsh at Kinnick Stadium alongside two-time Michigan captain John Jansen, and we know how tough this place can be to play. Early start definitely benefited Michigan. We kind of checked out the atmosphere here, a little bit subdued, and then the Wolverines came in and subdued them more right out of the gate.
It was. We walked around the stadium, we walked around campus, and thank goodness it was an 11 o'clock start because they didn't get the pump primed for some time, and by the time they did, it was just too late. Michigan came out firing on all cylinders. A great first drive to be able to, hey, scripted drive, execution, put it in the end zone. It was awesome.
Man, they rode their horse Blake Corum in the early going with some good running.
Yeah, and when you look at Blake Corum, his ability to make guys miss, his ability to gain yardage, especially on first down, was such a huge benefit.
They got Donovan Edwards back Saturday, and draw play on 2nd and 10 worked to perfection.
And when you have that 1-2 punch, two different styles between Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, one a little bit more shifty, another one with more power. Both guys that when there's contact, they're able to pick up extra yardage after contact. But Donovan Edwards is a tremendous athlete, and you're going to see it throughout the course of this game, throughout the course of this year, on the ground, but also through the air.
Wolverines get the ball down to the Iowa 16-yard line. They go reverse to Ronnie Bell. Take us through this touchdown.
And this is a beautifully designed play. You're going to check out the left guard here. He's going to pull. Everything says, hey, we're going to the right. All of a sudden, Luke Schoonmaker, he is also pulling to the right. He takes it at about face, comes around, and you'll see Ronnie Bell come, take the ball from the quarterback. You got Luke Schoonmaker out here. You've got Cornelius Johnson out here. You've got a train ready to go through the end zone. And you can see Cornelius Johnson does a great job putting his hands up, making sure he doesn't get called for holding. Scooney sends him to the end zone.
That was on the Wolverines' opening drive of the game. Michigan led it 7-0. And then the defense, after the offense set a tone, the defense forces a 3-and-out right away.
Well, and that's what you've got to have. You've got to have both sides of the ball operating. And when you get a 3-and-out, for an Iowa offense that needs to be able to run the ball, they need to be able to get a rhythm. 3-and-out doesn't allow any of that to happen.
All right, you mentioned Donovan Edwards already as we go to the second quarter and Michigan on top 7-0. Here, a 12-yard run for number 7.
And what you see with Donovan Edwards is once he gets in the open field, he's hard to bring down. When he gets there, and especially on contact, he's going to bring it every single time.
Wolverines have a 4th and 1, and they convert with Blake Corum.
Well, and with this offensive line, for the most part, there's a 3rd and short late in the game where they don't pick up, but 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, it is an offensive line that right today I thought was dominating the line of scrimmage, protecting the quarterback, and when you've got a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1, and you have to have it, my money's on this offensive line.
That set up a Jake Moody 44-yard field goal. Michigan led it 10-0. The Wolverines get it back with about 4 minutes to go. They lead it 10-0. Iowa's going to get the ball to start the second half. They go on an important drive, including this pump and go to Andrell Anthony. Big play.
Well, it was a big play. And when you're thinking about the maturation of J.J. McCarthy, we know he's got a strong arm. At times we've seen him be very accurate, but when you pair those, the strong arm, a little bit of touch, behind the corner, in front of the safety, it was the perfect throw to Andrell Anthony.
Wolverines get a field goal out of that drive from Jake Moody right at the end of the first half, and they led it 13-0 as we went to the intermission. Second half highlights are coming up when we continue here on Inside Michigan Football. Single setback is Blake Corum, and they'll run a reverse. And some room now. Cutting inside is Ronnie Bell to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Ronnie Bell. And the Wolverines on the opening drive of the game go 75 yards, and they lead it 6-0 on the 16-yard reverse to Ronnie Bell.
It just set the tone for the game. We were just letting you know that we're here. We don't care that you put your defense out there, and we're just going to go down there and do what we do. And it was just huge for our defense to be able to just let them know that we're going to have their back the whole game, and they had ours, especially in that big moment with those sacks. And yeah, I mean, it was a huge tone setter.
That's the first rushing touchdown Iowa has given up so far this year.
We love that. We have the saying, make their juice our juice. So, we knew the crowd was going to come out rocking. If we just scored, we knew that, the momentum was going to be on our side.
Yeah, that was huge. That was a big jump to the game, of course. And just to quiet the stadium down and put them on our back. So that was a big score to begin with, and then we kept going.
Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2022 Michigan football season and proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. J.J. McCarthy, low snap, back to pass. Here comes a blitz, rolling to his right, looking downfield. He's going to fire back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Donovan Edwards.
It's huge for us. 1, it's our first road game. 2, it's coming into Kinnick. And 3, we got a good ball program on the other side of us. So it was just huge to be able to do what we wanted to do, take what the defense gave us, and just come out of here with a win, honestly.
Big play here. Turns and hands it to Blake Corum, running right, hesitates, makes a man miss, and he's going to walk into the end zone, John. What a hesitation move, untouched. Blake Corum from 19 yards out, and the Wolverines' lead is 26-7.
We know that they're good at stopping the run, but you know, we're good at running the ball. We have a lot of faith in the offensive line. Our coaches trust us, so you know, we're ready for the challenge, and I think we did a good job.
Into a shotgun, has the ball, back to pass. Here comes the pressure again, and Petrus is corralled and swung to the ground.
You know, they wanted to rush the ball a lot. You know, we stayed square, knocking back all game. It was more physical. It was more downhill than them. We wanted more, honestly. We took the life out of them.
We continue here on Inside Michigan Football from Kinnick Stadium. The Wolverines get a win. Let's go to the second half highlights. And we started off, first play of the second half, Mason Graham, the freshman, gets in there, sets a tone, just like Michigan's defense did in the first half.
Well, and you know, when you're up by 2 scores, they're going to have to come out, throw the ball a little bit. And we talked about it at the beginning, put this game on Spencer Petrus. And if you do, you got to find a way to put pressure on him. Mason Graham coming up with a big play to start the second half and set the tone.
Let's talk about Jamon Green, because that sack set up a 3rd and long. And here's Jamon Green in coverage. This guy is quietly having a great season. He gave up his first completion in man coverage last week. He was just about perfect Saturday.
Well, we saw him grow a little bit last year, and for the last couple of years, he's been picked on a little bit by opposing offenses. This year, early on in the season, going against some of those air raid offenses, he hasn't been tested because he shut everybody down, and he has grown in his technique, his aggressiveness, his ability to be physical down the field, and it's paying off for him.
That led to a 3 and out. Wolverines get the ball back. Here's a big play. Luke Schoonmaker, crossing pattern, kind of juggles it, the catch and the recatch, but this goes for 18 yards.
Yes, coaching point, catch it once. But to be able to pick up the first down, to be able to have an athlete like that. Eric All is out right now. Luke Schoonmaker, the last 2 weeks, has filled that void extremely well.
All right, that sets up the touchdown. A blitzer comes free on J.J. McCarthy, and this is his athleticism taking over, and then he finds his running back, Donovan Edwards, who is a great receiver out of the backfield.
And there's so many things to talk about in this play, and it's J.J. being able to extend a play, and this is what always kills opposing defenses. You can't stop a mobile quarterback. He escapes the pocket, looks like he could pick up the first down, maybe a touchdown on the ground, sees Donovan Edwards in the end zone, throws it at the last second, almost across the line of scrimmage, and then Donovan Edwards obviously bobbles it a little bit, but hauls it in for a touchdown.
The Wolverines led it 20-0 at this point. Here's a Mike Morris sack. This is 3rd and long. We take a look at Jansen vision.
I am absolutely loving this, because I'm going to go ahead and circle Mike Morris right here. He's going to take a beeline for the center, and the goal is, hey, I'm going to free up Mazi Smith coming around, but what he does is it's just a little ricochet, blows up the center, ricochets off, and then he's got a clean shot at the quarterback as we see the play continue here. Boom, hit the quarterback, and then a clean shot right to the quarterback for a sack.
The Wolverines, Iowa actually converted later on a 3rd and 22 that set up their touchdown to make this one close. But let's go to the 4th quarter. The defense needs to get stops. Here's a 4th down stop deep in Michigan territory. This was a big play.
When you have a goal line stand, this isn't down on the 1 or 2 yard line, but you're inside your 10-yard line, you've got to get a stop. Michigan defense came up huge when it mattered most.
All right, so Iowa gets the ball back, 4 minutes left, Michigan up 20-7, and the Wolverines get some pressure. This is where Mike Morris gets in the backfield again with a big sack.
Mike Morris gets a sack, Yabioki gets a sack, and you're thinking, okay, how do we continue to win these matchups? I'm going to take a look at Jansen vision here, and this one is set up by Mazi Smith. Mazi Smith lines up at the left defensive tackle. He's going to basically take out the entire right side of Iowa's offensive line, and then a Yabioki who's lined up out here. Hey, they're worried about his speed, his get off. Instead of coming up the field, he decides to loop around Mazi Smith, and he's got a direct shot, and it's 4th and 24. It's a down where Iowa has to have it. It's a down where Michigan has to have it. And as we watch it play, that's exactly what Mazi Smith does, gets the guard to turn his shoulders, and there's absolutely no way he's going to be able to recover on a player like a Yabioki.
Well, the Wolverines get the ball back, and then this Blake Corum touchdown run, untouched. touched on 3rd and short. What a hesitation move.
And I would not want to be a defensive end in open field trying to tackle Blake Corum. We've seen defensive backs not be able to do that. You've got one guy, all great athletes out there, but one that's a little bit more athletic than the other. The offensive line does a great job of being able to pick up the first down, put him in position for that, and then at that point, it's all Blake Corum. A little, stutter step, and then he's untouched by human hands going into the end zone and sealing Michigan's victory.
Wolverines get the win here in Iowa City, 27-14, to improve to 5-0 on the season. We'll hear from the head coach of the Wolverines, Jim Harbaugh, next here on Inside Michigan Football. Petrus back to pass. Looking, here comes the Michigan rush, and they'll get to him. Mike Morris, his team-leading 3rd sack of the season.
It feels great. It feels great. Everyone, I still got a chip on my shoulder because of everybody saying about last year this, last year that, and it feels good to come into a hostile environment and take it over.
I love road games. I mean, I love the big house and all that, but I love road games more than home games just because you're so in tune with what you're going to do, so in tune with your guys. And it was just all about taking what the defense was going to give me. They weren't going to give us like any broken coverages or anything like that. So just being able to be systematically patient and be able to just make the right reads and the decisive decisions, that was my focus this week, and I feel like we got it done.
I was ready for the first road game. Last year was Wisconsin taking over there, jumping up and down there. So it was Iowa's turn this week. So we really got in them. It was a great performance as a team.
We haven't won here since 2005. We knew the adversity we were going to face coming here with the crowd, the fans. But we prepared all week. Everything we could. We trusted each other. We trusted the game plan, the players, and came out here and we played good. We got a win.
Today's conversation with Jim Harbaugh is brought to you by Meijer.
Coach, first of all, congratulations, and how about getting a victory in an environment like Kinnick Stadium?
Yeah, it was a great environment, and have a ton of respect for Iowa. I mean, blue collar, they play tough. They try to outwork you, out hustle you, and out hit you, and our guys we're up for that challenge.
The performance of J.J. McCarthy in his first road start in this environment, your thoughts on his performance?
Well, super efficient. He's really kind of pacing quarterbacks right now with efficiency. I thought he was a model of consistency and did everything, handled his business, did all the quarterbacking, the checking, the play calling, and did it really well and threw with a lot of accuracy and made a lot of plays.
And talking about pacing, Blake Corum, obviously pacing running backs right now. Another great performance and a big touchdown there in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a team that's tough to score on. Probably the most points have been put on them since last October here in the stadium. So all good. I mean, Blake, 130 some yards. He's having a whale of a stretch right now. We're just going to try to keep it going.
What changed defensively in the second half where Iowa was able to move the ball just a little bit?
Yeah, we feel like we can play better. There were some times we had some really good coverage. Sometimes we got some pressure. Mike Morris came up huge. Fourth down stop and at the 5-yard line. I mean, that's big time. Just getting the coverage and the pressure at the same time is. We let some routes get inside of us on some dig routes, but I mean, stuff to get better at. But Game 5, we'll celebrate this one and feel really good. It'll be a really happy flight on the way home, and then on to Indiana.
Yeah, I was going to say, on to Indiana. You're 5-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten, and your thoughts. Just a quick look ahead to another Big Ten road trip.
Yeah. That'll be a tough one. Always been a tough environment there. They talk about tough environments. That's a tough one. So we'll be happy about this one. Have a happy flight, and then as soon as the wheels touch down in Michigan, we'll get on to Indiana.
Thanks, Coach, and congratulations.
Thanks, John.
Happy coach in the Michigan locker room. Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy. In this environment, which can be hostile, some of his bigger throws were throwaways. He threw a ball away where Ronnie Bell was running into coverage, incomplete, no harm, no foul. Later on a 3rd down, threw the ball away, no harm, no foul. Don't turn it over.
Well, you've got to possess the ball, and that's what Iowa does. They try and get you to turn the ball over, give their offense that, for the most part today, was inept, an advantage. Give them field position, give them a short field. J.J. McCarthy didn't do that. And then on that play, that's the same route that he completed the ball to Andrew Anthony. So being able to decide, hey, this is where I need to throw it because the defense is not allowing me to do it, and maybe Ronnie Bell can make an adjustment to make a catch. Wasn't able to. An incompletion, that's good. Now all of a sudden you come back in the second half and you hit Andrew Anthony with that same route to the open side of the field. It's great decision-making, great poise by a young quarterback that's growing up right before our eyes.
One play we need to talk about is Donovan Edwards recovering the fumble, though, at one moment in time where Iowa almost forced a mistake. Edwards tracks this ball down.
It is a 60-minute game, and you've got to play mistake-free football for the most part, and you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to play a perfect game. J.J. throws this ball as he's going down. Better part of valor is to eat that one. He doesn't. Donovan Edwards saves them, lets them live to fight another day.
We'll go inside the Michigan locker room and hear from our Ed Kongursky next. This is Inside Michigan Football.
I'm just so proud of everybody. Everyone's showing that this team has so much grit about them, so much fight and determination.
Our Elro Steel Man of the Week is Mike Morris. The senior racked up a pair of sacks, including one in the third quarter as Iowa tried to get back in the game. He now leads the team with 4 total.
I saw they were sitting on me all game. They were sitting on the power, so I just ran an outside move, and it worked. And I saw the quarterback, eyes got big, and I made a big play.
Morris helped lead the charge against an Iowa team that hangs its hat on physicality.
The strength coaches set the tone. They said they had videos of them saying how physical they were, how dominant they are in their stadium, and we made it a priority to be more physical and dominate them when when the crowd's involved, or just put our helmets on, put our big boy pants on, and make big plays.
Morris said he has a chip on his shoulder because everybody keeps comparing them to last year's team. He said it was important to march into a hostile environment and take a game over as this team continues to build its identity. For Inside Michigan Football, I'm Ed Kongursky.
Thank you, Ed. One of the great traditions in college football is the hospital wave. The cancer ward at the Children's Hospital overlooks this stadium. The Wolverines came off their sidelines to make sure that the kids could see them. Embracing these great moments in college football. There were kids up there waving back. It gives you goosebumps.
We had a great view of the Children's Hospital. We had a great view of everybody in the stadium participating in it. And you talk about traditions in college football. To me, this is one that we haven't experienced before. Michigan has never been here. They instituted this, I believe, the last time or the year after Michigan was here last in 2016. And to be able to participate, knowing it was coming, you're prepared for it, and you do something special in the middle of what you're tasked to do. You take that time out. It's special for the kids, and it's also special for the players.
Keeps things in perspective. Wolverines get the win here in Iowa City, and we got a win with a pregame treat taken off an Iowa tailgate favorite list. That is next here on Inside Michigan Football. All right, so first road game of the year, we decided to dive into what Iowa tailgates can be all about, and we traveled around, and our crew came up with the #1 tailgate treat here at Iowa. Number 3 is considered popcorn. I love popcorn.
Yeah.
Number 2, donuts, but number 1 is the Scotcheroo. Now, the Scotcheroo is a peanut butter Rice Krispie bar topped with chocolate and butterscotch frosting. So we got a Scotcheroo for you, John.
Well, yes, and we had to search long and far for something for you, Doug, and we did come up with one, and that is they offer in the stadium here a very delectable, as I'm told, carrot muffin. Now, this is the Doug Karsh version because it normally comes with icing. We said, you know, hey, we got a guy that doesn't like sugar, doesn't like anything that tastes good, so what do you have? And they said, here's a carrot muffin. So
well, I want you to try the Scotcheroo.
I can't wait.
And I'll dive into the carrot muffin.
This is outstanding. I got something really good going on here, and I know that you want to offer me a bite of that, but I don't want any part of that. That looks awful.
Mine's okay, too.
Looks awful.
We'll see you next week here on Inside Michigan Football and take a look back at Michigan and Indiana. So long. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meijer, presenting sponsor of the 2022 Michigan football season and proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest.